Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Medicine Wheel. This is Dr. Sean Devlin, and I have an exciting show to introduce to you today. One of our dear friends and supporters of the Medicine Wheel, Gino Scala. He's the founder and co-collaborator of Grateful Gardens fame and Gino the Soup Man here locally in Reno. He has invited us into his kitchen to witness him cook up a basic and very healthy vegan enchilada dish. It's my pleasure to introduce Gino Scala, Grateful Gardens, and his wonderful home teaching kitchen. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Podcasting from the base of Lake Tahoe in the eastern Sierras comes the Medicine Wheel. We are a group of progressive physicians seeking solutions and enlightenment while surfing the seas of big data and summiting mountains of research in an effort to make the practice of medicine more personal and medical knowledge more accessible, and empower you, the listener, to be as healthy as possible. Now, the Medicine Wheel.
Hello from Gino and Julie's kitchen. I'm Gino from Grateful Gardens, and I'm going to show you today a very simple and delicious way to wow your friends. We're going to make vegan enchiladas. You'll see here that I have a lot of things laid out, so I'll just kind of go through a few of the things. We have onions. I used a yellow onion and peeled it, organic of course. I used organic black beans. We drained all the starch off of them and added some cumin and red pepper. And this is cashew cheese, which is made by Grateful Gardens, but you can also stop at the store and get cashew cheeses from a lot of different brands. Miyoki is one that I like a lot. And then we have a little bit of Daya vegan cheese, which is going to be used at the end. And then you can make enchilada sauce. I'm choosing a green verde today, or you can buy a mild, medium, or hot, depending on your spice love, and create your beautiful enchilada dish. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slice some onions, and I'm just going to slice these about maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. You don't have to be super exact here, but you just want to get them into a nice easily sauteed onion. Now, I'm not the greatest at knife skills, so I turn this over and just start slicing right on the side as well. And then these are going to go in your hot oil. So over here I've got some oil in the pan. I use a nice blend of avocado and olive oil, which we really like at Grateful Gardens. And you get that kind of turned up. And the idea here is to get these onions really nice and brown, caramelized. And they're going to give you the result that you want in the tortilla. All right. So this is the majority of the stove side cooking. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare our pan. So I'm going to make a large amount because I've got this whole film crew to feed, plus all the friends that are coming. So we're going to take a scoop of the enchilada sauce and we're going to pour it in the pan. And then I'm just going to move it around a little bit, get the edges nice and coated. And this is going to help with it not sticking as well as give you your base flavor. So it's really important part. I'm going to set that up right next to here and start warming up tortillas. So these tortillas are non-GMO organic tortillas, and these ones we got at Rayleigh's. You can get organic tortillas at a lot of different places, and I highly recommend using organic, especially in the corn family, and they'll just taste better, and the result in your body is better. So this kind of a dish is super yummy, and most of the time when I was growing up, I'd have it at a Mexican restaurant, and it was just loaded with cheese and fat and lard, and frankly, I just don't want to eat that way anymore. So I still wanted the experience of having the enchilada dish and using the cashew cheese and these other ingredients, the black beans and sauce, has given me every bit the satisfaction that I've had with that, but a feel-good feeling as well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 tortillas. I warmed them up in the pan, and while I'm doing this one, I'm going to warm up these next ones. And the first thing you're going to do is about a tablespoon of cashew cheese, and you want to do a nice spread on it. And I love cashew cheese. If you haven't had it or made it, you wouldn't believe it. I think it actually tastes more cheesy than cheese, which kind of blows me away, but it's the way it is. Some of the black beans, again, I'm using the tablespoon for a 6-inch tortilla because it's just the easy measurement. None of this has to be exact. And then we're going to grab some of the caramelized onions. I had some prepared in the pan prior, so this takes a little longer than what this film is showing right now. But I have them in here. And then we're going to roll this up. And this is a really important part. When you're at this stage, you want to just kind of squeeze it so all the ingredients are throughout the whole tortilla. And then you're going to put it in the pan with the seam side down. The seam side down makes it so that they don't open up during the baking process, and they're really easy to scoop out of the pan. So you can scoop 2, 3, 4, whatever you're going to serve. Some of my friends, I would need like 10, but they're good. So I'm going to just keep doing this until we fill this whole pan up. And when we're at that stage, we'll top it with a little Daya cheese, cover it with foil, pop it in the 350 oven for about 30 minutes, and then take the foil off and leave them in there for about 5 minutes just to get it a little golden brown. So we are getting close to having a whole pan here, and you basically just want to do the Tetris effect and fill the pan up so that they're touching each other butt to butt, and then they will be ready to sauce and cheese again. So I'm getting close to the end of my onions, and about 1 onion gives you about 4 enchiladas because the onions shrink. So I'm going to fit that in there. I can actually fit 1 more. So I'm going to do 1 more. Now, it is really important to heat the tortilla up first. You can see that last one I didn't heat it up, so they might not fold quite the same. All right. So seam side down. So this is the product right before we're going to sauce it. So remember, there's sauce at the bottom. We have this Tetris effect, and now we're going to very liberally pour enchilada sauce, and you want to get a nice coverage on here because those tortillas are going to drink that sauce. So I'm going to move it around a little bit and get it all covered. So that's what it's going to look like, and then I'm going to toss it with a little cheese on top. And again, this is Daya cheese, which is a great product, can be purchased at most grocery stores, but there's a lot of other alternative or vegan cheeses. And I use this not as much of a flavor enhancer as something to help the enchiladas stick. So now we're going to cover it with foil. So just to cover our ingredients a little bit, we started off with onions. Obviously, those can be purchased at any grocery store. We made our own cashew cheese at Grateful Gardens, but you can buy Miyoki cashew cheese or an assortment of other cashew cheeses. Most grocery stores are carrying this stuff now, but Whole Foods or your local co-op or a natural grocers will have that product. And then enchilada sauce, you can endeavor in the making of an enchilada sauce, which we do at Grateful Gardens, or you can buy a really good canned product. There's green and red. We used mild green today. And then the black beans, every grocery store in the world now has organic black beans, and I would highly recommend using those. And this is going to go in the oven, and then we'll prepare our garnish for the dish as it comes out of the oven. So in the oven she goes. And voila. So garnish for this dish, green onions, some diced tomatoes, and you're rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna just take the little ends off, and I like to go all the way up to about 1 inch above the thick part of the onion. Toss the rest. We're gonna just dice these nice and thin. It's always nice to have a little bowl around. You can fill all your garnish up, and don't underestimate garnish. Even if you're just cooking for your family, it looks beautiful, makes everybody feel good, and a big part of, I think, any sort of dining experience is that visual side. And you can do it at home for yourself or your family, or if you own restaurants like we do. Either way. All right, so got that done. And on the tomatoes, I'm just going to do a few. You can also use salsa and a little bit of guac, jalapeno. You could do it however you want. I'm not going to put the jalapenos in. You can always make things more hot. And then some cilantro, which is right here, is already chopped up for us. And this is the same garnish that we're going to use to make our guacamole. So I've got my little bit of cilantro here. Now I'm going to switch to guacamole. All right, got to have one of these. This is a must. And lime and avocado. Do a couple of these here. So avocado's big brain food. I'm a huge avocado fan. I mean, eating it every day. I remember one time my wife and I did a juice cleanse for 28 days straight, and one of the cheater foods, and it really wasn't cheating, it was part of this, was an avocado. Highly recommend using a spoon if you want it, because you don't want to lose any of the avocado or throw any away. Then you just scoop it all up. One thing I forgot to mention that I just thought of is pretty much everything that you do, you want to season with salt and pepper. And we really like having these little bamboo holders. It's easy to pinch. You want to season everything. I'm going to season the guac. I'm going to season the onions. It's just season, season, season. You can't get enough seasoning. We use pink Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt are your best salts, especially if you live here in the West. So I'm going to add a little bit of the diced tomato. I'm going to add some finely diced onions that I did a little earlier. Pinch of cilantro. We've got our salt in there. This is a great tool. Every kitchen should have one. Put a little lime. And bring this to your next Mexican friend dinner, and they will love it. Little secret is when you're done, if you're going to store it and take it somewhere, is put the pit in there. And for some reason, it won't turn brown. I don't know why, but it works. All right. Now I am going to smash the avocado. So I'm just going to take a fork to it and move it around a little bit. Avocados can be a little more firm or soft depending on the ones you pick when you do get them from the store. You want to have a little bit of a squeeze to them, or put them in a brown bag until they get that way, and then they'll be perfect. Awesome. Now we got brain food, we got vegan enchiladas. We're going to have a little salad. And this is our freshly made guacamole. All right. This should be coming out of the oven. We've got a big one for the film crew, so don't worry that this is so small. All right, we have our plate all set up, about 70% live green food, which is what I highly recommend to alkalize your body and feel good. And I'm going to scoop out a couple enchiladas now. Put them on the plate. Yes, this looks beautiful. Top it with a little bit of cilantro, some green onions, and some tomatoes, and beautiful vegan enchilada dish served with a nice salad and some fresh guacamole. Super simple, super easy. Just to go over the list one more time, this is so easy. You're going to go to the store, you're going to get organic flour corn tortillas. You get organic black beans. If you want to make your own green or red enchilada sauce, look up the recipe. It's pretty easy, but you can buy a really nice canned one. Some cashew or almond cheeses, and your onions and your Daya cheese, and it's super duper easy, and enjoy your night.
The Medicine Wheel encourages all of our listeners to subscribe to our newsletter and podcasts as we continue to explore the world of medicine, bringing you up-to-date health and science information. The Medicine Wheel invites our listeners to email us any newsworthy stories or topics they wish to explore further and discuss on the podcast. For more information about the Medicine Wheel, please visit us at our website, www.themedicinewheel.org, and on Facebook, and finally on Twitter and Instagram at The MedWheel.
In an effort to support access to integrative medicine and functional medicine options for those in need and education for those who need information, please consider donating to Project OmCare, 501c3.org. Please go to our website, www.themedicinewheel.org, to learn more.
Thank you again to all our local sponsors, Grateful Gardens, Lighthouse Coffee, and Dorinda's Chocolates, which represent some of the best organic and appetizing options in the Reno, Tahoe area.
Lighthouse Coffee Shop is a proud sponsor of the Medicine Wheel. We are a family-owned and operated local coffee shop. Our goal as a business and a family is to cultivate community wherever we are. All of our coffee is ethically sourced, organic, and farm fresh. It's roasted in-house daily, guaranteeing you access to the freshest cup of coffee on the planet. We care deeply for our community and everyone in it. We strive to provide you with the best ingredients and most comfortable environment. Come and enjoy coffee with us. We are family, and we would love for you to be part of it.
Gerber Medical Clinic is proud to support the Medicine Wheel. and medical education to improve health quality, nurturing the lifestyles of our listening community, enhancing wellness for all. Thanks again to Wired Insights and their talented team for making our podcasting dream possible.
In closing, we would like to remind all of our listeners, if you have a medical concern or diagnosis, you need to see your personal doctor without delay, and if needed, obtain a referral to a specialist. If ever you feel the health issue you have is urgent or an emergency, please call 911 and go to your nearest emergency room. Please do not take any of our physicians' commentary or our guests' opinion as medical advice, and always seek out medical care from fully licensed and appropriately trained medical professionals in your area. The information shared in this podcast is for general information only and should not be construed as medical advice, and understand that no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of this information and educational materials linked to this podcast and website are employed at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not meant to be used as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
This is the Medicine Wheel signing off for this week with a reminder to live, love, listen, and learn.